Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 5, Episode 13, DJI Mavic 3S on the way, question mark, okay? Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Actually do have a lot to talk about tonight, and it's very interesting. We'll be joined at the bottom of the hour, no later than that, by Mr. Ron Brown. I was going to try to have Captain Ray on tonight. He's attending a spring training baseball game tonight. And good luck to you, Ray. Hope you have a good time at the game. And I was also going to ask Johnny on tonight, but he's going to a baseball game. I think his grandson may be in it, or one of his relatives. Anyway, okay. So much for all that. At the end of the show, I'm going to reflect a little bit on. Well, we had a celebration life service for my father-in-law this past weekend, and I want to share with you a favorite song of his. I mean, I'm not going to play it, but I'm going to tell you about it and just kind of go over all that. Okay. I'm going to start the show off tonight. Let me see if I can get that up here. I thought I had it up there. Okay. Yeah, I do have that up here. Our good friend Art, and I don't know if you're in the chat right now. Let me go ahead and greet everybody in the chat here tonight. Let's see who's here. Boy, we got a lot. Stephen Ewing's here. Rex is here. Drone Shots is here. DWV UAVP. Jay Bird's here tonight. Quadcopters and Tech. Maddie's Drone World. Trini Weeks. Hal 9000. Floyd Motes. Let's see. Bill Thomas. Welcome, Bill. Let's see who else with Flying Flynn Media. Let's keep going down here. Michael Wright is here. Welcome, Michael. Art is in the house. Welcome, Artie. Maddie's, I already said Maddie. Let's see who else. Who else we got? Akarasho's here. Who else is here? Eric Kimball. Welcome, Eric. Drone Life RC. Sour Sham. And Barry Markowitz. Barry. Don't know about that, Barry. I haven't checked the weather. I've had a busy day today. First thing I want to share with you guys, and I'd like to thank Art for calling my attention to this. And I don't know how many of you know about this, and this is something I want to share with everybody tonight. Let's go ahead and get this up here. Okay. Mel's brother and father had their trailer destroyed by fire recently, and it was a total loss. And there is a GoFundMe page that I think Mel has set up for them with a goal of $5,000. It's already at 910. First of all, I want to thank Art. Thank you so much for sending me this link. I went ahead and immediately gave a donation. There's lots of people out there that have already done likewise. If you haven't, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this link. Let me go ahead and get this link. I'm going to drop this link in the chat right now. Okay, that link is in the chat. So if you want to go ahead, and I strongly urge you guys, if you can afford $5 at all, at least do that to help them out. It was obviously a pretty devastating time for them. And according to what the GoFundMe page has said, that they lost absolutely everything, clothes, you name it, everything's gone. So if you can remember them with a small donation, or any kind of donation you're able to give, please do so. Mel's a great part of the drone community. We all know and love him, and we're wishing the best for his father and for his brother. Hopefully, I haven't heard anything, but I don't believe either one of them got hurt. I didn't see anything about that. So hopefully they're okay. They'll be in our thoughts and prayers, and I hope everybody can be able to participate and pitch in this. Okay. All right. A lot to talk about tonight here. And some surprising stuff tonight. And I got some reasons behind that, behind some of this surprising stuff. Okay. Let's see. Well, the first thing, the drone meetup's coming. All right. That's coming up. Friday night is a meet and greet at I don't remember the name of it, but I got it written down. Bowling alley. Captain Ray is at 5:00. Captain Ray has also told me, like I said, Ray was going to be here, but he's attending a Mets game tonight, and I'm going to see. He sent me a message, and I'm going to see, I'm going to try to share that here. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and share this. Ray took the time to send a message to me on this, which is fantastic. And I want to share this with you guys. I'd love to, but I can't. It'll be in the New York Mets spring training game in Jupiter tonight. Thank you for the invite. We have 80 pilots coming, plus Jasper the dog, Max and Tammy Jean's dog. 2 members of the U.S. Army drone unit from Alabama will be there as well. Guys, this is going to be absolutely fantastic. I am so excited for this. I cannot tell you. It's really just, it comes in a wonderful time for us. I mean, and I'll say more later. Right after we celebrated my father-in-law this past weekend, being able to go away this weekend. This is kind of our first mini vacation we've had in quite a while. Last one, we went up for my granddaughter's birthday last year. I don't want to call that a vacation of sorts, but it was getting away. But this is truly getting away and having some fun and getting to rub elbows with all you guys. Hey, and I thought of this advantage here, okay? You get to have your picture taken, not just with me, but with Valerie, okay? That's worth it, guys. So if you were on the bubble and thinking about coming, okay, Valerie's going to be there. And trust me, it's worth the price of admission, which is free. But anyway, okay, trust me, it'll be fun. She's looking forward to it as well. She knows a lot of you guys by name already, and she's going to be able to put names with faces, which is awesome. Okay, I think that's great. We're going to have a great time. I know Saturday's a pretty jam-packed day. We're gonna look forward to it, and I know there's dinner reservations are like at 7 that night, so we're just gonna have a great day that day. From what I see from the weather, it looks like it's going to be cooperative. The winds have been kind of calming down, which is good. We really haven't had the R word for a while, so that's a good thing as well. So if you're on the bubble, guys, just come down, okay? Seriously. We found we couldn't get in at the hotel that Ray suggested, so we're staying a little bit, about 5 or 6 miles down the road there a little bit, but we're going to have fun. We're going to have a blast. So, if you really can make it, please do so. We would love to see you there. We would love to have you there. This number of pilots coming is absolutely fantastic. And, I know Ray will probably watch the rebroadcast of this, but my hat's off to Ray. I know Matt's been helping him out and stuff. I know Johnny's been helping him out. Thank you guys. And everybody else who I may not have mentioned. Thank you all for your hard work for this. It does not go unnoticed, and we genuinely appreciate it. And we're really, really, really looking forward to this. Okay. All right. Weather in Jensen Beach on Saturday is going to be beautiful. There we are. Maddie already told us that. Okay. So it's a done deal. It's gonna happen. Now, I want to talk about the Matrice M30. First of all, in the news, and then a couple of the reviews that are out there right now. Now, the first thing that I wanted to share, there was an article. Let's see. Yeah, it was on Drone DJ. All right. And let's go ahead and share this here. Now, mind you, the drone isn't even officially out yet, but it helped save a life even before it came out. And let's see. I think this was in Utah. A volunteer organization assigned to assist the Weber County Sheriff's Office in the state of Utah. Incredibly enough, the SAR team was able to witness the life-saving capabilities of the M30 drone firsthand when a snowboarder became stranded in North Fork Mountain Valley land. The M30 not only found the missing person within 10 minutes of being on the scene, but the drone also helped map out an escape path, letting rescuers know the safest way to get off the mountain without getting into more trouble. Now, the version that they had was the M30T, which has the thermal capabilities on this drone. 640 by 512 radiometric thermal camera to find hotspots and heat signatures. To reassure the snowboarder he had been found, the rescue team put an aerial spotlight on the man, which drone operator Kyle Norford explains was great for him to be able to look up, see the drone, and know he was found. Overall, the team says the M30 series drone cut the rescue mission time in half, with Horton saying it just makes the rescue so much faster and safer for everybody involved, from a patient also to our heroes and our rescuers on the ground. Okay. This is This is absolutely fantastic. Okay, even before it's officially on sale. I mean, it's imminent from what I've read from some other articles. It already has saved lives, and I think that is absolutely fantastic. So kudos to all involved with this. I think that was great. We're looking forward to that. Just really, 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 just that's good news. Now, on the other hand, with Matrice M30, all right, you've probably seen a couple reviews out there. Potato Jet, which I actually haven't watched, but I did watch Russ from 51 Drones in his review, and he did a great review on it. Okay. And what I'm about to say has no criticism on either of the reviews because I know Russ covered it thoroughly. He does a great job with his reviews. He covered it thoroughly, and I'm sure Potato Jet did as well. But my question is this, okay? When DJI sends these drones out and they pick, reviewers or, content creators to do this, they want to target a specific market, okay? Now, I'm not sure about Potato Jet. He's more millennial type from what I've seen of his stuff, all right? He has a lot of subscribers. And Russ pretty much targets hobbyists, okay? And, not so much the commercial aspect of things. And for me, my thing is, I'm just wondering why they chose somebody, and again, I like Russ. He has a great channel. I support him 100% in everything he does. We've had him on the show before. I can't understand why they picked both Russ and Potato Jet to do something like this. Reason being is their target audience isn't going to be first responders for the most part, isn't going to be companies, industrial applications. Okay. So it kind of confuses me. And I don't know what you guys think about this. And I'd, put something down in the comments because this is just, I'm kind of curious as to why DJI did this. I don't understand myself because the logic doesn't make any sense. Okay. Now, okay. And I'll just back it up with another example here. Okay. Give Russ a Mavic 3. Okay. Boom. That makes perfect sense. Okay. Because his target audience is hobbyists and I'll call them higher level hobbyists. Okay. And perfect. Okay. He's going to reach that audience and that's what you want. But, reaching the audience that the M30 is intended for. Okay. That's all I'm going to say on that. Okay. We're going to just they got them due to the amount of subscribers they have. Lauren, you're right. I agree. It's the amount of subscribers they have. But, with that being said, most of their subscribers, and I'm going to say most of Russ's subscribers are hobbyists. And I don't know. Anyway, okay. That's all I can kind of say on that. All right. Now I want to thank Mr. Bill Thomas today. And Bill, thank you very much. He sent me a link, and we're going to go to this here in a second. Now, I've downloaded the update, but because of being so busy, like I said, the past 2-3 weeks, guys, we've been consumed with planning for the memorial service, the celebration of life for my father-in-law, and I've not had a chance to fly. Okay. It's been rough. Okay. I've had to be heads down and wanting to have a good evening. And I'm going to share at the close of the show about that. All right. But, a lot of guys have taken their Mavic 3s out. They've done the update and it has seemed to work, seemed to be better. Some other ones, not so much. And I've seen some posts about that. All right. Well, Bill sent me a link for the DJI forums on the Mavic 3 GPS issue, even after the update. So I'm going to go ahead and get that up on the screen here. I think I want to spend some time on this, guys, because I think this is pretty important here. All right, GPS explanation. 5,500 view thread with 500 posts initially. Okay. When the Mavic 3 was manufactured, they decided to use their tried and true U blocks for the GPS chip. They wanted the same UBX M8030 series, the same that they used for years in the Mavic 2, Air 2, Air 2S. Same chip that gets great performance in the Air 2S, as a matter of fact. There are 3 versions of the U blocks chip: standard grade, professional grade, and automotive grade. In prior Jones, DJI used the professional grade UBX M830 KT SKU. As manufacturing commenced, there was a shortage in this chip, so DJI decided to use the automotive grade UBX M830 KA SKU. When manufacturing actually began, all units used the KA SKU. On paper, the chips have identical specs in terms of GPS. They both have capability of using 4 separate satellite systems, and they're listed here, but only 3 can be used simultaneously as dictated by the DJI Craft firmware. The only paper difference is that the automotive grade has some more thermal shielding, which per the spec sheet gives a wider temperature operating range. If anything, DJI felt this was a net positive and an upgrade, if anything. Now, the problem with UBX M830 KT is that its onboard memory is different than the other chip variant. Some clever individuals, in fact, in another forum, did a teardown on this chip in the Mavic 3 and noticed some slight differences in the physical memory configuration on the chip. Although the dimensions and connectors on the chip itself remain the same, it has a much more limited memory for I'm probably botching this like crazy data. What is ephemeris? Okay, and I'm totally botching that, but I'm sorry about that. GPS satellites transmit information about their location, timing, and health via what is known as ephemeris data. The data is used by GPS receivers to estimate a location relative to satellites and thus position on the Earth. The ephemeris data can also be used to predict future satellite conditions for a given place and time. The information is stored in the memory module of the GPS chip for a distinct period of time. It's why a cold start, warm start, and a hot start have vastly different performance of satellite acquisition. The way the memory module stores the data and accesses it is also different between the 2 SKUs of the U-Blocks chip. Prior to December, the GPS module performed relatively well. There were no complaints of GPS performance as expected. However, the December update provided some new features to the product, namely focus track, hyperlapse, master shots, and a new way to return to home is implemented. These features use GPS data within the chip and take up some of the memory module on the chip itself. Because of that, with these features, there was limited memory for the chip to download and store the ephemeris data. Every time the drone had a cold start, it had to go through the process of downloading the ephemeris data slowly on a limited bandwidth to a small pipeline. In fact, in January 22 firmware included further features. Some users reported the GPS issue actually worsened. Okay, this is why DJI initially advised to be connected to a data network. Theoretically, the ephemeris data could be downloaded through a network faster than directly through the air, but unfortunately, that's not how it panned out. Upon discovering the problem, the primary way DJI felt it could deal with it was shrinking allotment of memory by taking up some of the very features which were causing the GPS problem to begin with. Thus, DJI had to work very hard to limit the memory allocations that its features were using in limited memory it had to work with. This is not ideal. This is more of a software band-aid that doesn't address the core issue, but it's why some have seen improvement. Why are others not seeing improvement? Okay. Ephemeris data contain information on week number, satellite accuracy and health, age of data, satellite clock correction coefficients, orbital parameters, amongst other data. Location, position, and a number of other factors play a role in that data download. It can be very well location dependent. Thus, the issue is hardware and software related in a sense. I'm not sure this isn't exact, but it gives a good picture as to what's going on. It isn't clear if this issue can be solved, and I hope it provides some clarity on why it took DJI so long to attempt to address the issue. Can a manufacturing line be changed to use the appropriate U-Blocks chip that was intended? Can further software modifications be optimized to improve the craft without further feature sacrifice? Should there be a silent recall with a swap out? Okay. Now, I'm not going to read this next sentence because that's going to be our very next topic, which is in conjunction with this. Okay. Now, they do pose some great questions down here. Not going to lie to you, because I have seen this has hit some other people. Okay. I will definitely say that because I've definitely seen that. it's very interesting, the situation here, and it's going to tie in with our last subject of the night that I'm going to get to here in a couple of minutes. Now, I hope you understand what I read, and normally I don't read just about everything, but I wanted to on this because this has been an issue that's really plagued a lot of people, and I know some people have gotten very upset. And I saw someone today, and I forget who, you know, did the update. It's gotten worse, and he's contacted DJI. And with good reason, contacting DJI. This needs to be addressed. This needs to be looked at. Okay. And I wanted to spell this out so you have an understanding of why this is happening. And again, I want to really thank Bill Thomas for sending me this today. I really appreciate that, Bill, because I got educated on why this is happening, and I understand it after reading this. Now, this isn't just a simple firmware type of fix here. You know, I can say this and I can speak to it. Like I said, I haven't tested mine after the firmware update, and I'm going to be flying this weekend, so we'll find out when we're down in Jensen Beach, because I'm bringing my Mavic 3. But, you know, it's been a mixed bag. Some have reported improvement, some have not. And, you know, it's you know, maybe they had mixed chipsets in there. I don't know. You know, and what's the solution to this? Okay. Obviously, now this poses a very good question. Is it people are complaining in the groups? Wrong thing to do. Groups can fix it. Complain to DJI. Spot on, Lauren. Lauren, you nailed it on the head. Okay. And I've always said this. All right. If you want to get this taken care of, okay, maybe put it out there in a group to see if others are experiencing it, just to kind of confirm your suspicions. But the best way, and the best way that I have found to get DJI's attention is to go on Twitter and post this. There goes my signage just fell over there behind me. Is to go ahead and post this on Twitter. You'll get a reaction from them, because they don't want to see a lot of bad communication, and they'll direct message you on Twitter, which will start the process. And it's very good, because they will engage you. They want to address things. And I found that's been the fastest method. It's faster than email, faster than a phone call. They have been very responsive for me every time I've done that. So as Lauren says, engage them. Okay. At DJI support on Twitter. Okay. Now they do have email. If you don't have Twitter, they do have email. So yeah, my empire is crumbling. Lauren, that's happened a long time ago. Okay. What little empire I have, it's been gone for a while. Anyway, that's good, Lauren. Contact them directly. Okay. Whether it's by email, they'll get back to you. Okay. Or on Twitter, which I found to be a faster response for me personally. And I know some of you don't have Twitter. You know, and their email address, I'm almost sure it's support@dji.com. And reach out to them, and they will get back to you. They've been very responsive to me over the years. Okay. So, you know, is this, you know, this is appearing to be not just a firmware issue now, guys. Okay. This is also a hardware issue. And you saw in the support forum raise some good questions. One of them being, you know, will DJI do a swap out? Wow. Okay. Now, you know, what, you know, quote unquote, a recall? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. And it's going to tie into what we're going to talk about here in just a couple of minutes. But I wanted to spend some time on this so you guys get a feel for what's going on here with all of this. Okay. Yeah, Hal 9000. You know, I do agree with you, Hal, but I think the problem is, okay, you know, this is really going to put a wrench in the works, so to speak, with this. You know, what the solution is, this is coming up here, okay, which really kind of surprised me. And I want to say this before we get into the next subject. All right. There's been absolutely the FCC ID database. OCDLab's been quiet. There's been nothing out there about the Mini 3. I mean, zero. Okay. And I think a lot of focus has been on the Mavic 3 and the GPS issue. Okay. This has come to a head. And it's come to a head because I think, as Lauren said, I think a lot of people are contacting DJI now about this. So the more you contact them, the more you tell more information. And guys, here's something that you do want to do. Okay. You want to give them whatever information they ask for, give it to them. If they're asking for logs, screenshots, whatever, give it to them. Okay. That will only help your case out. Don't complain about it. Just make sure, before you go out there and contact them, line some things up. Line maybe your logs up from your flight, or line up some screenshots, or, if you've shot a video of this, line that up as well. Get all that together, okay? Because they're going to ask you for this information when you contact them. And I can tell you right now, it has always paid dividends for me, okay? I've always gone out there. I've always sent them that information, and they've always responded back in a positive way. Now, did I get everything settled the way I wanted to all the time? No, but they've responded back, and they responded back in a positive way. And guys, you got to keep your cool, okay? I know it's so easy, and I had an instance tonight, all right? And I'm going to digress for just a little bit, okay? I ordered a Galaxy S22 Ultra, all right? Now I have the Z Fold. Z Fold's not going anywhere. It's my phone. It's my baby of choice for my, for the Mavic 3, okay? It's not going anywhere, all right? I bought this phone with a specific purpose of using it for the channel, all right? Because to buy a camera, by the time I'd buy a camera and attachments or whatever, I'm spending more than the phone. So I went out and I got it. All right. UPS shows it dropped off at 6:29 p.m. tonight. All right. My wife and I are sitting here 10 feet from the door watching TV. Didn't hear a peep. I get a notified via text. It's delivered. I go out to the front porch. It's gone. It's not there. Okay. Yeah. This is the kind of day I've been having today, okay? It's been I'll call it a bad luck schlep rock kind of day, all right? Just one of those days. Stephen Ewing, I agree 100%, all right? This is, and before we get to the next subject, and I did digress and talk a little bit, there's nothing on the Mini 3 because DJI's focus right now, they're all in this Mavic 3, okay? Because this is their flagship of their consumer line, and they need this drone to work, and they need it to work well, okay? And there is trouble. Excuse me. I have horrible allergies down here right now. The pollen count's insane. They need this to work. They need it to work really, really well, okay? So with all that being said, all right, and let's go ahead and, all right, there is talk, and I'm going to show you guys an article. Mavic 3S. There's strong rumors that a Mavic 3S is coming. I kid you not. This is not an April Fool's joke, okay? It's not April 1st, guys, okay? It's not an April Fool's joke. This is real stuff. And let me go ahead and get this article up, okay? Because when I saw it, I was almost looking like, is this April 1st? And I know, hey, Castello, and hey doesn't pull your chain with stuff, okay? Hey's not that kind of person, okay? So let me go ahead and share this because this is some incredible stuff here, all right? DJI Mavic 3S rumored for a possible fall release. And I was like, I see this out there, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Is this for real? And let's go through what the rumored specs are and see what's going on here, okay? Now, I'm going to read part of Hayes' article. Now, remember, everything that you see on here, it's out on Build a Drone Reviewer, Facebook group and page. All the articles, links to everything will be out there so you can look at these later, okay? Mavic 3 has been plagued by missing features since it was released in fall of 2021. Drone maker DJI has been playing catch-up with firmware updates to make the drone live up to promises at the time of launch. One of the biggest gripes in both professional and hobbyist drone pilots has been incredibly long time it takes for the Mavic 3 to establish satellite connections. So presumably the yet-to-be-released Mavic 3S is going to fix all the problems, okay? Now, Mavic 3S, S stands for satellite. Makes sense, doesn't it? No, kidding aside, DJI is rumored to be working on a new version of the Mavic 3. It would be called the DJI Mavic 3S and offer a number of improvements. 1, the sensor for the telephoto camera would increase to 1 inch. 2, the main camera would remain unchanged. 3, the battery capacity would be increased by roughly 15% for a longer flight time. The release of the Mavic 3S might be as soon as this fall or Q1 of 2023, and the Mavic 3S might come in different color options. Now, please keep in mind these are very early rumors and thus likely to change. We first wrote about the Mavic 3S in December of last year. FYI, the DJI Mavic 3 has a 1/2 inch CMOS sensor for its secondary camera with a telephoto lens. As far as the satellite problem of the current Mavic 3, it seems that the latest firmware update has not resolved the issue for all pilots. Initial user feedback is mixed, to say the least. More about this in a later post. And we've already talked about that. In the meantime, what do you think of the Mavic 3S arriving on the market? Something to look forward to? Is it too soon, and should DJI focus on cleaning up all the issues with the Mavic 3 before launching yet another drone? Or do you think it makes sense? The Air 2 and Air 2S were launched very close after each other. The same goes for the Mavic Mini and the DJI Mini 2. They were about 1 year apart. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Wow. Wow. All right. Wow. Just, we're all into the world, all in the Mavic Mini 3. Okay. We're all in Mini 3 mode, and we're waiting out there with bated breath to look out on the FCC ID database. Nothing's out there. Osita quiet as a church mouse. Okay. Nothing out there. We're not seeing a thing. Okay. And then boom, this hits. All right. So now you can see why. All right. This is exactly why we're not hearing anything about the Mini 3. All right. It's because, they've I know the Mini 3 is going to be a great seller for them. All right. That's not going to be an issue. Okay. What happens here, okay, with this, okay, these are tied in. These are tied together, all right? DJI is not going to be doing this without just cause, all right? I can tell you that. Now, Stephen Ewing just put up there, surely that is admitting a liability, that there's a major problem. This cannot be legitimate. It leaves them open for so many losses. Stephen, you're right. That's a very good point. This forum article seemed very accurate in terms of describing what's going on here. And, this is one of those things. Did DJI give any expectations on how long GPS sats will take to lock? Don't think so. The chips are working. Case closed. I don't know, Floyd. Some people see it. Some people don't. Church of Mouses in my neighborhood are very verbose. Yeah, Russia. Yeah, I kind of think so. Okay, I agree with you. Okay, that is a good point, Floyd. That is a really good point. From everything now that we're reading, and with that great information that Bill Thomas forwarded to me, this could be a two-pronged issue. Not only the software, but the hardware, okay, and the chipset, and and like you just said, Stephen Ewing, this could open up DJI to a whole host of issues, and cost them a boatload of money. Now let's remember this here, okay? The Mavic 3, all right, what has been is. And not the Cineversion. We're not even talking the Cine version. The standard version is the most expensive consumer drone they have ever made. Okay. Mr. Ron Brown, how are you, sir?
Mills, I'm good tonight. Sorry, a little late. I had a little bit of audio problems and sound problem. There's a band playing right outside the things. I had to sequester to the bedroom here to get some, not,
Ah.
that I didn't want to sound like I was coming from a party. And what?
Ah.
No, it's not. It's a Italian thing going on down at the I'm gonna call it the pool area, and they got live music and everything like that. They're playing a lot of good old songs that you and I would like from the '60s and '70s, but I don't think that the drone audience would particularly care for them, though.
Probably not. You were probably right. We're talking about the revelation today that we found out from Hey Kestelou that there is a Mavic 3S on its way, supposedly, and supposedly
Yes.
it's going to fix this GPS issue. And I got to thank Bill Thomas. I don't know if he forwarded the article to you, but he did to me. It was from one of the DJI forums about what's going on with that, and it was very detailed. And I spent some time going over it. And again, I want to thank Bill for that. That was really educational in finding out things. And, I have to believe it is part hardware, it is part software. And we've brought up the point in the discussion, which Stephen Ewing is right. This could open up DJI to a whole host of lawsuits and, just some really angry customers.
I hope I'm giving good information here, Bill. I think Hey Kessler Drone XL has already come up with an article since that where he's talking about something Original Dobo said in his video, and it's not original, but a commenter on the video has made some kind of comment. And anyhow, the article's so long and so detailed, I did not get to read it all before I went to the show. But I think we've already got kind of an update on that original article about with somebody disputing some of that. I don't have the link for it. I'm sorry. I looked at it right before I ate dinner. I didn't have a time to read the whole thing, but it may be even more updates.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to go
But
ahead and.
but yeah, it's breaking news all the time on this, Bill. My only question is, Bill, if it is okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts, Bill. The post the forum comment, the guy described they had a shortage of their usual GPS chips, and they used the automotive GPS chip. Have you covered that, Bill? And it
Yes.
doesn't
Yes.
have as much onboard memory. Okay, that I buy all that, but then why doesn't everybody have the same GPS lock time? Why is the times if that throws out the excuse that that's GPS salads, then why do some people in different regions get faster times than other people do if it's not GPS satellite related? Because if they were all using the same automotive chip, shouldn't they all have roughly about the same GPS lock time, Bill?
Yes. Now I got that article up right now, and I'm going to go ahead and share that. And thank you for calling my attention to that. I think this is some important information to share with
There's a lot.
everybody.
It's a lot to unpack in that thing. That's why I didn't have time to
Hey,
read all,
Marcus,
Bill.
welcome.
Gentlemen.
Marcus,
Now,
there he is.
apparently, it said DJI removed the entire thread on the official forum. Ariel is up to posted a very lengthy and detailed possible explanation to what may be the cause of the Mavic 3 GPS issues. DJI removed the entire thread and even proceeded to ban Ariel's up to from the DJI forum, allegedly because Ariel's up to was trolling the drone maker with various accounts, which is very interesting because let me look at this here. This is from Snoopy too. This isn't Ariel's up to. And this is a very lengthy, detailed explanation.
It's the
and
same
again,
post, essentially, Bill. And I'm just telling you, I think the guy's after clicks. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right about that. Now, he gets into talking about, I mean, it really, what you're seeing here, this is pretty much what I had gone through, talking about the Firmware data, Magtech's counter perspective. I'm not a GPS chipset expert, so it's hard for me to say it's correct or not. However, Magtech's response to the above post, spoiler alert, Magtech, who knows a thing or two about tech, says Ariel's up to is completely wrong in the comments on Original Dobo's YouTube channel. So here we go. Can the article on the DJI forum is not factually correct? People are so desperate for info, they just started to make stuff up. The chipset they're using is the same. It's just the automotive version that has higher compliance requirements for car use. It says the M30, no matter the version that has the same GPS performance. The automotive industry version simply costs more for those applications, usually with higher temperature requirements and designed to comply Electronic Council's various grade specifications. I put a big post there and he removed it with the thread. 99% of what he is saying is totally wrong. There's a lot of hype and fake info around this right now, and it's getting silly. His DJI has an issue, but it's not specifically related to the automotive chipset. This was my full response to him. And he goes into the response here.
That's what you call a specious explanation. It sounds logical. It sounds really good, but it's just a bunch of baloney.
It's right. And, you're right. And, I think it hit, it fooled a lot of us. We really thought, that this was something that made sense. This was something that, this was an explanation for things. But, the curious thing, and I'm going to say this and pose this to both you guys, okay, with the news of the Mavic 3S on the horizon here, and also, and likely too, and I know you guys have noticed this and you addressed it, it's been quiet about the Mini 3. There hasn't been a peep. Nothing FCC, ID database, Cetalev's been quiet. The other guy on there, he's been quiet. There's been nothing out there. So their attention has probably been directed toward this. Good, bad,
or Bill, do you buy my theory at all that they won't release the Mini 3 until this satellite issue is resolved? Because if the Mini 3 has the same satellite issue as the Mavic 3, it's going to be a much bigger deal because 10-1 people are buying more Mini 3s than they are Mavic 3s.
Oh, I agree 100% now, Ron.
Many more people's hands. And if we think it's a big issue now, wait until people go from their Mini 2, where they get satellites in 30 seconds, to the Mini 3, where they get it in 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah. When they upgrade, it's going to be, could we say revolution, Bill? Or
you'll see pitchforks and torches, and the faithful will be in mass with something like this. But I agree with you 100% on that, Ron. That's why the Mini 3 talk has stopped. They're focused, their heads down. They want to get this right. They don't want to screw it up, because this is their, and I said before you guys came on, this is their most expensive consumer drone they've ever made. All right. Not even talking about the Cine version, just the regular version. It's the most expensive. It's over $2,000.
And their markup is, this is the consumer drone they make that they make the greatest markup on.
Yeah.
And I think Ron has made this point many times. That was the start of what got people off on the wrong foot with that drone. People were shocked by that price initially. And of course, we've all talked about this since. When you analyze it, it really isn't that expensive, but it seemed like it when it came out. And I think that kind of put a sour taste in people's mouth. And as Ron has said many times, it's now the drone that people love to hate.
Yeah.
Even Ken Heron agreed with me when I said at the boardwalk. He agreed wholeheartedly with that. And a lot of the hate towards the Mavic 3 GPS slow GPS issue comes from people that don't even have the drone. It's just a way for them to the stockpile. They're out to get it anyway, so they just stockpile on. So again, a lot of that GPS hate comes from people that don't even have the drone. Now again, a lot of people do have the drone, and they're legitimately upset by it, and that's okay. They're allowed to be upset by the GPS issue. They pay their money. They had expectations. Bill, just for get a benchmark today, I did a GPS lock test on the Mini 2 in the exact same location that I did the Mavic 3 2 days ago. And the Mavic 3 that day got it in 1:40 seconds, which is totally acceptable for most people. But the Mini got it in 40 seconds. Same exact spot, same time of day, same weather conditions. It beat it by a minute.
Yeah. So, Ron, Bill, I want to add. So the reason that you buy a drone like this, I took it up today. I was just uploading some video off of it. I took it up into the Boise foothills, up into the mountains, 36-mile-an-hour winds, guys. I had GPS lock in about a minute and a half, took the drone up, flew it around up in the mountains, 36-mile-an-hour gusts. The drone didn't even know it, flew excellent. I was able, because of the obstacle avoidance, because of the intelligent return to home, that this drone provides. I was able to fly it down into some draws and things like that I guarantee you I wouldn't do with a mini drone, because if you lost contact with that thing's going to turn around and smack right to the side of the mountain, whereas this guy will fly out, over the top. But again, OcuSync 3, excellent connection. So I totally get the problems that people are having with GPS. It's a legitimate complaint. But other than that, and Ron has said the same thing, this is by far the best drone I've ever owned.
I agree.
But what I say is, okay, once you get this drone, once you get your lock and you get up about 50 feet in the air, it's the best drone I own, or whatever, from that point on, or whatever. Once it's up and I usually get 19-20 salads on the East Coast when I'm flying around, when it gets it all the way in, and that's good enough. It comes back. I get precision landing lots of times. It knows exactly where I am. So again, once you get those lock and you get in the air, it beats everything else that I own out there. And Marcus agrees.
Yeah, one more point that I'll make is, there's people that are very unhappy with it. Return the drone. Send it back to DJI. Yep. If it's an issue for you, I mean, the great thing about DJI is they've got a great return policy. Send it back.
Hey, you put Lawrence Com out there. He wants raw in the long lens mode. Did you see one of the 3S rumors is that the tele lens is going to be a 1-inch sensor in the 3S mode?
That would be awesome, because I'll tell you, one of the biggest complaints I have with the drone is I am not super happy with that zoom. Even when you're cropping on that micro four thirds sensor, it doesn't take very long for it to look pretty rough and pixelated, and then it pops from 4x to 7x, and I hate that jump. I don't know about you guys. I hate it when you get that jump from 4 to 7.
Yeah.
And then the 7 looks really good. And I'll give that a buy. As you start zooming into 28, hey, how good is it going to get?
Yeah.
But my Air 2S, I like the crop zoom better on my Air 2S than I do on the Mavic 3.
I agree, Marcus, because I've noticed the quality on both, and the Air 2S, it's just that zoom. It's sharp. It's clear. I mean, up until like the last iteration, you're getting some really good stuff from the Air 2S versus the Mavic 3. I agree.
I agree. And Marcus, if I didn't think I needed like a real long zoom, I would even turn the tele lens on. I would just use the regular lens on the Mavic 3, where it would stop at the 4x or whatever, and not even go over like you just said. And if I thought I was going to really have to zoom long, I would just start at 7x and not take that jump that you're talking about. That's unpleasant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, again, Ron really kind of nailed it here. The wheels have been stopped, the wheels of motion regarding the Mini 3 right now, because their heads down, they're focused. They want to take care of this issue with the Mavic 3. Okay. It needs full on attention. All right. Because, Ron can attest to it. Marcus can attest to it. I can as well. Okay. I've never flown a drone like the Mavic 3 before. All right. The stability up there is phenomenal. I mean, I had 20, 25 mile an hour winds. Nothing. It was nothing for this drone. Okay. The quality, the video coming back. Okay. Just no special modes, no hyperlapse, no nothing. Just the quality, normal quality, like 4K. Okay. Or 1080p. It's stellar. Okay. Even on cloudy days. Okay. The detail is there. The sharpness is there. The colors were good. Okay. Not having to do anything in post to it. I mean, it just really kind of popped. It was great, and that's one of the things that I like about this drone. And then the battery life. Okay. That's one of the things people don't talk a lot about, the battery life on the Mavic 3, but it's a kicker. Okay. I've only got 2 batteries, guys, and that's all I'm bringing. It's all going to be in my case. Because you know what? I don't need more than 2 batteries. I really don't. Because, the run times that I get with this are insane, okay? I don't need more than 2 batteries. I really don't.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, Bill. I mean, it gets lost in the shuffle from the GPS issue. Both you guys mentioned. The battery is fantastic, as Marcus mentioned. Its performance in high wind is bar none the best. In fact, real short story. I had a meetup with Captain Ray and TJ Alexander last week down here at the Juneau Fishing Pier, and I got there, and they were already there, and they said, Ron, we got to go to a different spot. We can't fly here. It's too windy. This is sunrise. And it was a beautiful sunrise. It hadn't happened yet. I could see it was going to happen. It was cloudy. It was beautiful. I said, guys, we got to stay here and catch the sunshine. And Captain Ray said, you go first then, and whatever. And I flew in just as high winds like a day before, whatever. I knew it was good. And I took the Mavic 30. I said, listen, guys, we're not going to go high and we're not going to go far, but we can go high enough and far enough to capture this beautiful sunrise. And they were amazed that that thing just got up there and just stuck in the wind. And I moved it back and forth, and it didn't have an issue at all. And then they got brave and they got theirs out up in the air. I mean, but I understand not believing it could do it. But Marcus, he's flown. He knows what it can do. I know what it can do, and so there's two things that has gone for it over. So people talk about the bad and not the good with the Mavic 3, and that's that's a shame. That's a shame that the GPS thing messes up. And Marcus popped on right when we got done talking about it. I kind of, even before that article came out that Bill just read from Drone XL, I was kind of not buying the automotive GPS chip to begin with, because, okay, if that truly was the fault of this GPS chip being an automotive one, I don't know, memory, almost all of us would have the same GPS lock time if we were all on the same chip. But I know, for instance, Marcus gets much better times than people on the East Coast, and that wouldn't be the case if it was just a chip, that chip overload thing. We'd all have 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever the time is. Everybody would have roughly the same time. So for me, that kind of blew that whole theory out of the water right away. I mean, I don't have any idea what it is, because it could be many different things. But that just didn't ring true to me because of the evidence of varying GPS.
We're not engineers, are we, Ron? We're not engineers.
But we did stay at a Holiday. But we did stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah. But I'm going to take this guy to Florida with me, and I know what it's done for me here in Idaho and in Nevada. I flew it in Nevada as well. But when we get to Florida, we'll see, Ron, because you have experience with yours.
Yeah.
Bill, you have experience with yours. And we can compare notes.
I can't wait to see I can't wait to see the difference in yours when you get to the East Coast and you compass calibrated. I just can't, because that'll be the ultimate test. You've taken it across country and see what varying degrees. And we were trying to talk Marcus last night on Drone Nation into bringing his little Altel drone along, because a lot of us have never seen that Nano. But John, even if he doesn't bring a giant drone flyer, promised to bring his along. Bill, you've never seen the Nano either, right? So
no, I haven't. No,
you'd love to see the Nano up close, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I might bring it just because of that new firmware update.
Yeah, I saw there was a new firmware update for that.
Bill, did you read that up? Did you read enough of that to understand what was happening there, Bill, to talk about that a little bit? I kind of was confused.
I was confused too. Now, I'll tell, I'm not sure, and I'll say this, and this is no disrespect, but a lot of times they try to translate pure Chinese to English, and it doesn't go well. Okay. And I think, and this is just me, because I did take a look at it. It just didn't sound cohesive. It didn't make sense. I wasn't getting anything really out of it, Ron. I mean, I read it, and I wasn't getting anything like, what's it doing? Okay. Besides the standard fix issues, blah, blah, blah kind of stuff.
I understand it was going to add HDR, but it didn't say which drone it was adding HDR to.
Yeah.
And then I read that it had 8-bit log color profile, but again, I didn't understand which model. Marcus, you're the Altel man here now. You probably have your pulse, pulse to the ground here, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah, I'm going to finger on the pulse, so to speak, or ear to the ground.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to try and update it. In fact, right after the show here, and see how the update goes. And by the way, I have two of them now. I've got the red one and I've got the orange one that Altel sent me. And the orange one is
thank you, Altel pilots, right? The courtesy of Altel pilots.
Courtesy of Altel pilots. Yeah, no kidding. But the HDR should be interesting. So anything to me that improves the video quality, man, I'm all in, right?
Now is that for the Nano or the Light, or both?
That is on the Nano. They said the tracking is only on the light, which, again, people were complaining about this drone that it wasn't ready to go right out of the box. These Autel drones, they've had all these features that they promised in all of their ads. At least DJI told us when you get it, it's not going to have them.
And Marcus, tell us how the tracking is on the Mavic 3.
That's one of the things that's just absolutely phenomenal about it. Yeah, and in conjunction with the phenomenal obstacle avoidance, it's just worry free. Anyway, that Autel, you're not going to get that tracking yet on the Nano. You will get it on the Lite, but if that HDR improves the video, man, I'm all in.
Got a question for both of you guys. Okay, this Mavic 3S that they're talking about. What do you guys think about that? What are your thoughts about that?
Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I think who was it? Is it Ken Donor that posed that in his video? He said if they release a Mavic 3S in the fall, and the main improvement is Mavic 3 is it gets salads faster. He asked, will that be a slap in the face? I think that will be a slap in the face to everybody that was an early adopter and bought the Mavic 3. And I know people are going to say, well, they should offer an upgrade program. Yeah, they should, but they're never going to offer an upgrade program. They're going to ignore that they're going to act like nothing ever happened with the Mavic 3, and you got to pay another. They'll bump the price up a little bit. $23.99 for the S model, or $25.99 for the S model. Like Marcus said earlier, I mean, if you're really that unhappy, you should contact whoever DJI or whoever bought the drone from. Send the Mavic 3 back now and wait for the S in the fall. Well, of course, and that'll be delayed, so it won't come in the fall. It may actually come in the winter or early 2023. So you'll be without a premium drone for probably quite a long time.
Yeah, you'll get it on like December 27th or something.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts. I mean, like Ken said, when a High Kessler puts an article out like that or whatever, I mean, he may have the fine details wrong, but he's probably not if he's too long on a drone coming out. So I'm going to say that probably is. Marcus.
Well, so Ron, you said it earlier. The thing that would get me excited about a 3S is an improvement on that the zoom and the things that we talked about earlier. If I could get good, solid, crisp zoom in, man, that'd be huge.
And Lauren's raw photos on the zoom, right?
And yeah, Lauren wants raw photos. Yep.
I agree. For me, and I gotta want to add this on top, and I concur 100% with what both of you guys said. But for me right now, okay, my dad always used to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. And if my Mavic 3 is running fine, getting good battery life, I'm getting great video from it, taking great stills. You know what? You're gonna have to really press it's gonna have to be a hard case for me to go ahead and sell my Mavic 3 right now and pick up a Mavic 3S. But they're gonna have to up the ante. Okay, for me to do something like that personally, okay, it's gonna have to have that kind of camera improvement that Marcus is talking about. It's gonna have to have lightning fast GPS, and I mean like click your finger fast. It's gonna have that battery life that they're talking about, like an added kind of battery life to that. There's got to be more than just what we're seeing right now. Okay. From what we've seen from the Mavic 3, they're going to have to up the ante. It's going to have to be, they're going to have to really kind of sweeten the deal. Maybe, and I'm just throwing this out there, this is just one of those things. Okay. Maybe they'll have a different smart controller for it too. Who knows?
Oh, right? There you go, Bill.
With that bigger screen.
With a bigger screen, yeah.
Hey, on there or something. Yeah.
Hey, Bill, you mentioned about lightning fast GPS. Somebody told me, and I never got a chance to go back to research the what would you call it, the build up to the Mavic. Somebody said when they advertised the Mavic 3, they advertised faster GPS than what.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That was one of the features, was quicker GPS lock or whatever. So right there and there, if you could find that fine print and you contact their support, you could show them that in their ad and say, I need to return it because you put this in your advertising and it's not true, and I can demonstrate the lock time in a video if you want me to.
I'll be right back. She's asleep, and there's somebody ringing the front doorbell.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
it may be
All right.
it may be Alltel down there. So yeah. So anyhow, yeah. I mean, I don't think, you know, I think the firmware update for the GPS has helped. It definitely hasn't hurt me. But again, everybody mileage varies or whatever. Everybody has different results. But for me, I've seen a slight improvement. Bill, what's your final verdict on the firmware update?
On the firmware update, you know, I think they may have addressed some of it, but not all of it. You know, and taking into account what we've just read and everything. All right, you know, it sounded good. It sounded good on the forum. It kind of made some sense, but you know, the three of us are not engineering people. Okay, we don't have that, you know, technical type of background to know what these chipsets actually consist of, the memories, how the memories are worked on there. You know, would have been wonderful to have Rick Smith, you know, talking about this, but you know, Rick's not here tonight. But be that as it may, okay, I think there may be a little bit of credence to a hardware type of concern here, but I think that's the minor part of the issue. I think the major part of the issue, and this is me personally speaking, okay, they're trying, you know, every time, and I can say this, and this has happened historically, when there's a reason that, say, for instance, Publix, okay, we have periods during the year, they're called blackouts, all right? No software upgrades are allowed during those times. One of them is Easter. Easter is the busiest, one of, if not the busiest time of the year for Publix, okay? Thanksgiving's another one, and of course, Christmas, okay? They don't allow anything in there because they don't want to introduce any kind of flaws into the system during a high sales period. All right. And in retail, that's the name of the game. I've worked for a couple of retailers. That's what's done. Okay. And this is the same instance here with DJI. Okay. If you add too much into something, all right. And I think what they did was they tried to force some things here with the software. And that's my opinion after reading what we did tonight, because I'm leaning more, it's more of a software type of a related issue, because I think they tried to force a little too much into this without properly testing it. And I think that's where they're running into problems with the GPS right now. That's my theory.
That's a good one, Bill. And looking at that from a bigger picture, okay, let's say you're entirely correct on this. Okay, it was released in November, and people are foaming at the mouth in November. Just think if the drone still wasn't out now. Just think if the Mavic 3 was unreleased at this point. What would the community be saying right now if there was no Mavic 3 at all? It was just pure speculation still at this point.
We have to see the pitchforks and the torches, and they'd be walking down Main Street. Okay, where is it? Where is it? It's not here. It's not here. You know, and you brought up, this is a fantastic point you brought up, Ron, because you know what? It's, you know, they will every bit as much cave in to that. You know, I don't want to call pressure, but you know, the incentive to make sales, okay, and a high dollar item with a big markup on it. Of course, they want to get that out there. Of course, they want to get it sold, okay. And this is what I think is happening here with DJI. Okay, they kind of press the issue, and haven't we seen this before? Last year, the Fimi Mini, the infamous Hubson Mini. Okay, you know, yep. They were forcing the issue, and you saw the disastrous results that happened.
Well, even the Alltel drones showed up too early on.
Yeah. Again, you know, forcing these things too early before they're baked. Okay, it's like you want to eat a good cookie. Okay, you need to let it sit in the oven and bake the proper amount of time. You pull it out too soon, it's going to be eating raw dough. Okay, it just doesn't taste good. And it's the same thing here. Okay, you gotta make these things and put them through their paces and make sure they're tested. Because I can tell you what, all right, one of the things that I've prided myself on through the years, especially at Publix, okay, any type of software that I've tested, there's not been a problem once it's gone into production because it's been thoroughly tested. Because I go backwards, forwards, I think of scenarios, out of the box kind of things all the time and throw stuff at it. And the developers are saying, you're crazy with what the stuff you throw at it. And I said, well, you know what? I may be crazy, but I'll tell you what, we have a great record. You know, we work together as a good team. And this is what DJI needs to do. Okay. They need to like stop, refocus, and say, look, we need to get this right, because we need the Mini 3 to take off like hotcakes and not have anything coming out of the gate. Okay. Not have any issues, not have a GPS issue, not have any kind of firmware issues. Okay. But be ready to go when it's, you know, when it's sold. And I think that's what they're trying to focus on right now, focusing on taking care of the Mavic 3 in this, and focusing on getting the Mini 3 right.
Right, getting that firmware issue correct. If the Mini 3 has the same exact software, chips, and whatever, if it has the same software and hardware, or whatever, it's going to have the same issue. We don't know this. We're just speculating. It may have the same stuff. Maybe it has different hardware in it. Maybe it has different GPS software. But if it has the same as a Mavic 3, then we kind of know why the things like. And Bill, just that whole scenario you explained, it's amazing how a company like Apple can release the new phones every year, the same week or whatever, and year after year they release the phone with no major hardware or software glitches or whatever that cause a problem like this or whatever. It's amazing how a company like that just somehow always hits the date they have to hit, and everybody has some kind of issues, but no major issues year after year.
I agree 100%, Ron. Any closing thoughts, Ron?
No, just that, we got a slow week in mini rumors. We'll see what this week brings, or the next week brings, as far as anything with the with the Mini 3, and a lot of people are continuing to test the Mavic 3 GPS lock. I'm continuing to test it, and it's going to be a story, I guess, even until DJI fixes it, or they admit they can't fix it. I guess that's the only two scenarios out there possible. So, and I do want to give a little pump up for the Great Florida Drone Meetup this Saturday, Jetson Beach. The three of us will be there. We'll be signing autographs, and
get your picture taken with Valerie.
Yeah. It won't even cost you that much or whatever. No, but seriously, Friday night there's going to be a meet and greet at Bill Renee's bowling alley. Saturday we have the main event. Saturday night we're going to be going to Duffy's Tavern. Duffy's. Have you been to Duffy's, Bill? It's a chain
we don't
of
have
restaurants or whatever. So anyhow, we'll be going to Duffy's, and then Sunday morning there'll be an FP. There'll kind of be a Sunday morning drone flight FPV, but anybody could go there and fly. And then Monday will be the final day with the fishing boat or whatever. So that's my commercial. Ray Kelly paid me to get that in there, so I'll throw it to Marcus.
Well, Ray also told me that he has right now 70 pilots he knows that'll be there this weekend.
Plus the U.S. Army.
Plus
the U.S. Army from Alabama. Marcus, any thoughts?
Yeah, I heard from Bojack Jackson today. He said he's going to come. He said he's trying to get down to it. He called me. So, there's going to be a ton of people there.
Where is he located, Marcus?
Chicago.
Oh,
yeah, in fact, he's got his Part 107. He's going to pay for the trip by doing a job in Florida. No joke. No joke.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, he's the man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is just simply awesome. I am so looking forward to meeting you, Marcus. I'm so looking forward to seeing Ron and Susan again, and meeting your lovely wife as well too. I think, like I was sharing earlier, I think our wives should probably go out and offer to have pictures taken with our wives, because they're as much a celebrity as we are with all of this kind of stuff. Before I close, I want to thank everybody again for all your thoughts and well wishes and everything regarding my father-in-law's celebration of life service. It went off without a hitch. It was incredible. And first of all, my kudos to my beloved. She arranged the catering, table decorations, you name it. She did all this legwork. It was just absolutely awesome and incredible. I put together a slideshow, and what I'm going to do is I found some appropriate music on Epidemic Sound, and I'm going to put it out there on YouTube. and I'm going to share it with you guys so you'll have a chance to watch that. But I also put together a playlist that my father-in-law really enjoyed, and his favorite band of all time was CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Okay. And his favorite song, if you guys get a chance to listen to it, Susie Q. He absolutely loved that song.
I know.
And I want to share a real funny story. I mean, this is just very typical of the wonderful time Valerie had growing up, and she remembers this. Okay, now my father-in-law at the time, he had a Corvair, Chevy Corvair. All right.
Oh,
they were on a skiff tied to a rope onto the back of the Corvair. There was a trailer hitch, and he was driving at very fast speeds through orange groves with almost all the kids on the back of the skiff, just running through there. And, and I told Valerie, I says, you know what? I get this mental image of hearing some CCR on the radio in the car, and your dad's popping the clutch in and out and spinning the wheels and taking that car through there and just having a blast. Okay. That just got to me. And then one of the things that we did was his last bottle of scotch. We shared that amongst everybody who wanted to have a toast. Now, I got to tell you this. I haven't had a drop of scotch in probably 25 years. I mean, 25 years. All right. I had some. I thought I was going to die. Okay. It was like, oh. And Valerie's brother's looking at me like, what is wrong with Bill? It just was, wow. It really hit me. I was like, wow. Now I've tried moonshine before too. And this scotch has been sitting around for a while. So it was pretty potent is what I'll say.
Almost like moonshine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, I can actually tell you I've actually ridden in the Corvair. Marcus,
really?
have you ever
I've
ridden the Corvair?
driven one.
You got one?
I don't think I drove one, but I've been in a Corvair. I've ridden a Corvair.
I've never owned one, but I had a buddy that had one. Used to drive it around once in a while.
Well, here's something of note for you, Marcus. I've actually driven a Corvette before.
Hey, nice.
Believe it or not. Okay, I really have. Well, guys,
I've ridden a Corvette.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and be watching for videos this week.
Folks, that scotch is coming back on Bill. Pardon them.
It is. It's coming back already. Okay, guys, I want to thank you all for watching tonight. If you can get a chance, get down there this weekend. We're going to have a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hats off to Ray Kelly and everybody who's put this together, done incredible work. Get a chance to meet and greet and just have a lot of fun, share a lot of laughter, and just really enjoy each other. That's what I'm looking forward to. I know that's what Ron and Marcus are looking forward to, and everybody going down there. We're going to have a good time. So safe travels to everybody. Be watching for some videos from us because I'm sure we're going to get some videos out there on YouTube to watch and see what a great time that we have. For everyone, remember, it's always a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.
See ya.